Hello, my name is Xander from Terrytown, and welcome to your Puma 25 BHFQ. I'm going to start off first things first, apologizing for the wind because it is fairly windy out. I'm going to try to talk into the mic, try to block the wind out as much as possible, but it is going to be fairly windy, so I do apologize. But moving on, starting off, you're going to have your retract and extend for your power tongue jack here, and whenever you do use it, the light up top kind of flicks on just in case you do need to hook up at night. Right here, 2 to 7 way powering option. There's your output right there. It's all labeled. And then just in case your power tongue jack ever electrically goes out, you can peel this little tab up, insert a tool inside, and then that tool will then, you can crank it up or down, so it's just a manual option. Once again, it's just a manual override. Moving behind to the propane tanks, you have your reader and your selector right here. So this little arrow is pointing to this tank. It's on this tank, so it's going to be using the flow from this tank. If I move it to the other side, it's pointing to this tank. It's going to be using the propane from this tank. So whatever way this is pointing is the supply that's taken from. Whenever you open it up, for example, I'm just going to turn it back real quick. It should. There we go. So it flicks green. That means there's a steady flow of propane going through it from this tank here. Moving on, right down there, there's going to be your battery disconnect. So when that's off, it says right here, when it's off, that means it disconnects the power from the battery to the inside of the camper. And when it's on, you're using the battery to the inside of your camper. Well, there's your storage right here. Fresh tank fill. So your fresh tank, that's, let's say you're going rustic camping at a national park, you can pull up there and then fill up right outside because you're not going to be using your city water connection. So you have to use your own supply of water. So you just fill this up beforehand, get there, and then you flick on your water pump, and your water pump will draw water from this tank and push it through your lines. From the fresh tank is going to be your water heater. So right here, this is your anode rod. So your anode rod protects your tank, and it's going to deteriorate over time because all the hard water is going to eat at this and not your tank. So when this goes in, it's a 1 1/16 socket. Make sure that's nice and tight. Once that's in nice and tight, then go to the inside of your camper, turn on the hot side of your faucet. The faucet will then kind of sputter. That's just all the air getting pushed out of your tank. So once you have a steady flow of water, then you can go ahead, turn this on, use it, do whatever you need to do. And when it's time to empty it, just go ahead, pull the pressure release valve, which is what my finger's on right now. It's gonna hiss. Once it's done hissing, go ahead, take your socket, pull this out. All the water's gonna drain from where that just was, right in that hole. So once all your water's done, put your anode rod back, flick that back, and then go ahead and close your water heater back up. Just to the right of it is gonna be your galley tank. So you just pull that little tab there, and then your galley tank will then empty. Just underneath these second side is going to be your sewer system. So, one's going to be kind of bad right here, but I'm going to try to explain. So, you're going to have your black tank on your left and your gray tank on your right. So your black tank is going to be your toilet, and the gray tank is going to be water and sink. So, sorry, shower and sink, not water and sink. So with that, I recommend doing the black tank first, just because it is the dirtiest water out of the two, so it's because it's going to have solids and whatnot. So what I do recommend doing is opening that black tank up, letting it completely drain. Once it's done draining, come over here and insert a hose, a pressurized hose, into this little port here. This port is going to be your black tank flush. So with that, since, you know, like I said, your black tank is going to be all solids, a lot of stuff does get caught on the way out. So this activates a small sprinkler inside the system to kind of help get everything flowing again and kind of cleans it out before you go ahead and do your gray tank. So once you're done with that, take that hose out, close your black tank, and then open your gray tank. Like I said before, your gray tank, it's not going to have any solids in it, so when you do go and pull that open, it just gives your sewer hose one last little flush before you go ahead and put your hands back on there. In the back, furnace exhaust. So when this is on, all your heat is going to kick out here, so just be careful, because when this does turn on, this will then heat up and it will burn you. So just a heads up. Right here, cable, TV, and satellite hookup. This is your camp power or your shore power here. City water connection, so this is when you go to a campground and you want to use your water supply. Open this up, insert that hose, and get it going. Right down here, shower. So this is your outside shower. Hot, cold side of the faucet, and then it comes with your shower head and hose all kind of wrapped up in there. Backup camera, all prepped right there. And then for your stabilizer jacks, you just hold extend and retract. Sometimes one leg will go down first, like this one. Oh, this is going up pretty even actually. But sometimes one will go down first. It's completely normal. As soon as that side hits, the other side will then go flowing down fairly quickly as well. I'm just gonna stop it right there. LP Quick Connect, if you need gas outside, you just plug it right in there. Outside kitchen, fridge, and your Greystone. So with that, there's a little bit of water left over. With that Greystone, it comes with a LP hose already with it. That LP hose will go right down here into this LP Quick Connect. You stick it right in there, and then you're able to turn your Greystone on. Since we're right here, the gray nozzle on your wheel indicates that your tires are filled with nitrogen. You are able to fill them with regular air. It's not going to inflate or deflate with the temperature change. Just in case you do put a TV outside, here's your mount, input, and 110 outlets as well. Outdoor spray port. And then also your low point drains are going to be all the way back over here. And then when you open this up, backup camera, your hitch, your salesman will go over that with you, and then your outdoor hose for your spray port right here. And then for your awning, last thing, right on top of it, there's a little, this is going to be hard to hear because the wind decided to pick up again. Right on your awning, there's going to be a little black tab. With that, if you do need to manually override it, just go ahead and peel that tab off, insert a 10mm socket, and then you're able to crank that back in or out. And then for your stairs, open the door up. Let's hope it stays open with this wind. Otherwise, you just lift up. Make sure this little white piece is behind your frame. To adjust your legs, you just press down here, and then move that up and down. And then to take it out, you just pull the blue tab, grab the handle, and watch it as it goes down. Moving inside, you're going to have your readers here, battery reader, fresh tank, black tank, and then your grays water heater. So if you use that fresh tank, you can go ahead and flick this on, and this water pump will then suck water from your fresh tank through your water lines. Water heater, just electric, flick that on, it'll start to heat up. Living room light, and then can't see right now, but awning light, and then porch light. Slide in, so this slide out button is for this one here. Let's hold this in. Kind of gives you a brief example. Once you get that gear grinding noise, you know you're fully extended. And this one down here is going to be for this slide out. So again, I'm just gonna run just a little bit before I get back out. Once you hear it kind of die off like that, that means you are fully extended with that. And then your last thing on this little power menu here is going to be your awning extend and retract. Moving on to your bathroom. The main things that you're really going to need to know is for your toilet, it's just going to be foot flush. You just press it down with your foot. And you are going to need toilet solution along with RV grade toilet paper. The toilet paper is going to help kind of break down easier, so you don't have to worry about clogging your lines. And then same thing with the toilet solution. The solution will help kind of break down solids and smells. So once again, it kind of helps everything flush out smoother. And then for this, crank it to move it up, button to turn it on. Got to turn the switch on. Button to turn it on, and then front way. Once again, close. And then, like I forgot to mention before, you have to flip the switch on for that to begin to work. Coming to this back room here, to turn on the lights, it's just going to be the button right in the middle on these lights here. To move this door, you just pull this down, move it back until this piece reaches here. Then you let it up, get it caught right there. And then this also comes with your door that you can fully shut off. Right back here, you also have your breakers and fuses. So all your breakers are down there, fuses up top. I do recommend bringing extra fuses, but that's just a personal recommendation. It's not really, you don't need to, but it is highly, highly recommended that you do bring those. You can just pick those up at any auto parts store, so like an AutoZone, for example. You can go ahead and scoop those up there. Going to move this back real quick. Once again, you just pull. Once you get to your little bracket, push it right back up. Moving on down here. Starting up first with your space heater here. You have all your buttons lined up right in this little cubby area. The far left one is going to be time. So it goes for 9 hours. And then just to the right of it is going to be your fan settings. Just to the right of that one, the third button in is going to be your rock color. And then your flame color right next to that. And then your far right is going to be your on and off. Moving on to your sound bar, tap to turn on. Volume is going to be this here. You just kind of twist this around. To switch channels, you just, of course, tap this. To do the equalizer, so if you want more bass or anything like that, bass, treble, balance, you just go ahead, keep tapping the middle button. Zone 1 speakers inside, Zone 2 speakers outside, so you can turn them both off, or you can just go ahead and mute them by tapping the top right. Otherwise, you have Bluetooth, AM, FM, aux, pause, play, and then you have your USB and HDMI as well. And then you just hold to turn off. Microwave. Pretty self-explanatory. Lights, a fan. Okay. Alright, for this, press to turn on, press, twist, the gas will then release, and you just spark to the right. Same goes for the rest of these. You just press, turn in, spark to the right. Otherwise, for your oven, it's a little bit different. And the very back of it down here, it's kind of hard to see, but right where my finger's pointing, you're gonna press, turn to the pilot symbol, the little flame symbol, and sit there and spark. And then right where I pointed at in the back of your oven is going to be a little flame that will then flick on and appear. Once you see that flame, go ahead and then adjust to your desired temperature needed. Otherwise, this you always want to spark to the right. Do not spark to the left, because if you keep turning left, it will actually snap off. So only to the right. Moving on, keys, main doors are the purple ones, and then outside shower is going to be for these little silver ones here. Thermostat right here in the corner. Tap to turn on for the fan, adjust the fan with this. The fan, what do you call it? Pressure. And then you can keep switching between cool, furnace, and of course off, and then you adjust your temperature with the up and down arrows there. For your refrigerator, right up in the top right, you'll see the set button. Otherwise, 1 is going to be cold, 5 is going to be coldest, so the higher the number, the colder it gets. And then the same for the freezer, except just gonna be a little dial. So same thing, far right, colder or coldest, and the left one's gonna be cold. So the farther right you go, the colder it's going to get. And then in here, TV backer, and then you have your input along with your 110s right there, just in case you do decide to put a TV inside here. And then just missed this. Right down here, this is your carbon monoxide detector. So this little green light, it's kind of hard to see. There you go. That's always going to be on, obviously as a safety feature. So with that, that means that no matter what, that is never going to turn off. So even if you turn the battery disconnect off and everything like that, that still is going to run. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So just keep an eye out for that green light. If you don't see it on, then you're all set. But if it is on, either A, well, this is mainly if you're leaving for about 3 to 4 days, either A, take your battery and take the negative end off of it, or B, if you're gonna end up storing it longer than 3 to 4 days, I recommend just taking the whole battery out and either A, putting it in your basement, or B, just right inside a heated garage. So once again, it's never gonna turn off. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't when you pull the battery disconnect, so just keep an eye on it. If it doesn't turn off, then I recommend taking the negative end off of the battery or sticking it inside the your basement or inside a heated garage. And then for the AC, right here is just going to be a dump. So what I mean by this, there we go. So when this is open, all the AC is going to come straight out here. But if you want it, let's say it's scattered throughout, camper's cooled off, you can go ahead and close those back up. And once those are closed, it'll start to flow out of these vents in the ceiling. Otherwise, that really has been your orientation. If you do have any questions, please write them down and take them in on your pickup day. And then any of us who comes in that helps you with your in-person orientation, they can help answer that as well. Otherwise, besides that, enjoy.